Right now on WHAS 11 News at noon, a heartbreaking find inside a charred Carolton home. 2 people recovered from that rubble as the search continues for more. Friday night football across southern Indiana turning to tributes for a high school teen killed at Harvest Homecoming. What's planned for Bryce Gerlach's senior night tonight? And Delphi, Indiana is back in the spotlight as a murder trial 7.5 years in the making begins. A tragic discovery in Carroll County. Crews have just found 2 victims at the scene of a house fire in downtown Carrollton. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Friday at noon. I'm Brooke Hash. Recovery crews are still at that scene on 5th Street and will continue to search the building for other family members believed to be inside. Police said that large fire broke out early yesterday morning and crews were able to rescue a young girl around 3 or 4 years old. She was taken to U of L Hospital, but we have not heard anything more on her condition. And last night, the community held a candlelight vigil outside the hospital to remember the family killed in that fire. Iva and Roger Onan, who attended the vigil, said they believe the community will lean on one another during this tragedy.
Brings out the best in people, and that's what you want to see.
Police have not identified the 2 people killed in the fire. A news conference is scheduled for this afternoon and will be there. An apartment fire displaced multiple families in Bullitt County. Take a look. These are the Landmark Court apartments in Shepherdsville. Fire crews believe the fire began on the 1st floor stairwell in the middle of that complex, and around 25 people lived there. We are told everyone made it out okay.
Everyone's accounted for. All residents are accounted for. We transported 5 people who went to the U of L hospital with smoke inhalation. I think one of them had an ankle injury.
The American Red Cross is helping people who lived at that complex. New here at noon, a girl died from a shooting in Okolona late last night. Police were called to Audubon Hospital around 11:30 p.m. for a girl they say who came in with gunshot wounds. They believe the shooting took place in the area of Preston Highway and Outer Loop and died shortly after her arrival there at the hospital. There are no suspects at this time, but if you know anything, you can call LMPD's anonymous tip line. That's 574-5673. People in Carolton are preparing a special memorial for Bryce Gerlach tonight. That's the Carolton Central football player killed in a shooting at Harvest Homecoming last Saturday. He would have celebrated his senior night tonight and will be honored during the game ceremony. Gates open at 5 at Carolton Central. The ceremony is at 6:30. Everyone is asked to wear blue in his honor. And Silver Creek will be selling bracelets in honor of Gerlach with proceeds going to his family. So many football players and football teams across Kentucky and especially southern Indiana tonight making that Friday night football, Sam, one to remember for the Gerlach family. And we can only hope it's going to be good weather, just like we've had all week long, maybe a little chilly.
Yeah, really not too chilly. You know, temperatures later on throughout the afternoon likely clipping 69 degrees. So we should be holding steady in the low to middle 60s just in time for some Friday night football here. And probably for the drive home, a lot of us could be dipping down into the 50s. But right now, looking great as we take a live look at downtown Louisville. 60 degrees. I feel like each and every day has been a copy and paste when it comes to our weather forecast. Jasper sitting at 62. So far to get your afternoon rolling in Fort Knox at 59 degrees. So to get today, we're going to be approaching getting near 70 degrees, but I do think plenty of 70s will be underway as we get you into Saturday and on Sunday. Bedford appears to be that one outlier on our current temperature map. Some mid-40s still underway. Hopefully that thermometer is operating correctly up there. Regardless, though, a lot of 50s and 60s going on. So again, Carolton sitting at 67 and Jasper also sitting at 68 degrees. Here in the metro, hanging on just below 70 as we get into the afternoon. So the weather outlook does show more sunshine, warmer days ahead of us. In fact, so far this October, we've only seen 500ths of an inch of rain. It's really nothing, putting us about 2 inches in a deficit month to date with rainfall. So we're not going to be seeing much in the way of rainfall the next 7 days, and all the more reason to stick around for that 7-day forecast. As Brooke, it's been a historically dry October so far. I got all the details in a few minutes.
All right, Sam. Two former LMPD officers, Joshua Janes and Kyle Meany, will appear in front of a federal judge today after being indicted again in the Banna Taylor case. So this is what's called a superseding indictment. It was filed earlier this month that accuses the two men of depriving Taylor of her rights, with Janes facing additional charges of conspiracy and falsifying records. Meanwhile, Meany is charged with making a false statement to investigators. Prosecutors say Janes falsified the warrant that led officers to Taylor's home, and Meany approved it, knowing it contained false information. The two are expected to appear virtually for their first hearing on these new charges. This comes as another former LMPD detective is facing his own retrial in the Banna Taylor case. A jury is expected to be seated today in that federal trial of Brett Hankison. According to court documents, there are now just 36 people left in the jury pool. It once stood at 150. Hankison is accused of violating the civil rights of Banna Taylor and her neighbors when he fired blindly into her apartment during a raid in March of 2020. This will be the third trial for Hankison. He has never been convicted, but family and friends of Banna Taylor are looking for a different outcome.
We want the state of Kentucky, the jurors, to listen to the evidence, listen to the facts, and just do the right thing.
Former U.S. prosecutors and attorneys who are not involved in this case have previously told us prosecutors face an uphill battle to convince a jury to convict Hankison on this third go-around. We're told that even if the jury is finalized and sworn in today, the retrial will not begin until Monday. Also happening today, the start of the Delphi double murder trial. Opening statements are set to get underway in the 2017 killings of Indiana teens Abby Williams and Libby German. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Nearly 8 years after the murders of 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German, opening arguments in the trial of Richard Allen, the man accused of killing the teenagers. The jury, selected from a nearby county and sequestered, made up of 16 people, including alternates, 10 women and 6 men. The bodies of the two friends discovered in Delphi back on Valentine's Day 2017 after they went for a hike at the Manon High Bridge Trail. Libby leaving a trail of evidence for investigators, including this picture she Snapchatted of Abby, this image believed to be of a suspect, and this chilling audio. The judge ruled more than 60 alleged jailhouse confessions Allen made can be used in court.
We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
After years of hunting for a suspect, authorities arrested Allen in 2022 after they say they linked a bullet at the crime scene to his gun. The married father lived in Delphi and worked at the local CVS. The prosecutor's witness list, about 50 people. The defense list, 120 people.
Now, jurors have been told not to discuss the case or watch the news. The trial is expected to last about a month.